Hello and welcome back to Invictus Racing League. It's been a while, missed the last race in Zandvoort, so it's been 2 weeks since I've done a race in this league. What have I got to catch up on? Harry is now leading the championship by, I think it was 9 points going into this. So we've got a bit of catching up to do there. But this race anyway is China, and I like this track. I can't say I did too much practice, but I do like this track. And as you can see in the background, I'm not really pushing on this lap. That is because I'd opted to start at the back. We only had a 13-man grid, so I opted to start last. I was going to start on the mediums, but I thought, you know what, let's start at the back. It could be interesting, and I think the hard strategy is very good. But we skip very quickly onto the start of the race. 5 lights go out now, and we get a fairly decent launch. We're going to go up to the inside of Harry, but we back out of that, I think, a little bit better of it going into turn 1. So we're going to hang it around the outside, and we're just going to see what happens. Try not to make any contact with anyone. Don't want to get any damage at this early part, because it will completely ruin the race. As we nearly do on the back of the racing point. But no, we stay into P12. We've got Sambam Kid behind who's also on the hard strategy. A lot of people have penalties or race bans for this event, which is why there's quite a lot of people not here. But on the back of Burmeister now, and I think to start with it's going to be quite difficult to get through. The hard tires are quite a lot slower at the very start of the race, so the aim was just to stick with, and then think about lap 4 or 5, the softs will go off and we can start to challenge them. It would be a bit harder to challenge the medium runners until they pit, obviously, but we're just looking at what's going on now, and Burmeister absolutely sends one up the inside of TL4 for us there. I don't think he intends to do that, but we're going to see what we can do. Going on to the straight now. On the overtake on, we're just sort of judging our straight line speed and to see if we can overtake. And I saw it was catching Burmeister, so I thought, you know what, let's leave the overtake on and let's just see what we can do going on into the braking zone. Braking at the 100 metre board, being careful not to rear end anyone, and that is position. So that's P11 past Burmeister on the soft tyres. I think he started around P7 or something, so yeah, it's a decent start. But Burmeister comes back at us going into turn 1, which is not really what we want for our race, but it's fair enough. He goes to try to go on the outside, but it's nothing of it. And we settle into P11 at this stage. The leader at the moment is Scott, I think, and Cliffy. They're both a fair way ahead of everyone else, but they're 3 wide in front. Well, they were 3 wide, and we had to take avoided action to manage to not hit them. And Burmeister gives a little tap from behind, but that was a close call. We just about managed to get away from that. But yeah, I think the main threat that I was thinking was Cliffy, because he normally doesn't qualify, but he is normally quite fast. But he has qualified this time, and he's fairly high up, and his qualifying time was half decent, so I was thinking he was probably going to run away with this unless I could somehow get through the pack quite quickly on these hards, but I don't think I would. As Rimac gets a really poor run out of turn, God knows what turn that is, the end of the first sector. Let's go to the outside now, braking just past the 100 metre board. Slight bit of contact, but he leaves the room, which is nice, on the outside. There's now on side by side through this middle sector, trying to keep it flat, but we can't quite do it because he's on the outside, which turns to the inside for him now as we're on the outside. This is very close racing, but we go up the inside into the double left-hander. He's still there on the outside, but we just about get the position. And now we've lost the rest of the cars in front, so I was just thinking he's going to get us back down the straight again, but thankfully he didn't. And now we're on the back of TL4S in P8, and we get a really good run for some reason. So we go down, get pulled to the inside. We've got Charlie Harris in front in the Ferrari. We brake at the 100 metre board, and we don't even intend to do that, but we go down the inside accidentally, and that gets us a warning, which is a bit annoying, but yeah, I didn't intentionally go down the inside there, I was just sort of looking, but Charlie goes into the pit, so that's one less car for us to worry about. Up into P8 now, is there anyone else in the pits? Yes, there is, P7. That goes to P4 once a lot more people pit. And we're on to lap 8 now, so we've skipped a fair bit through the race. Personal best lap, we go to the outside of TL4 for us. It's a fairly easy move going into turn 1. And these laps are all about pushing as hard as possible on these hard tyres. The faster laps we can do now, the easier the last stint will become. As Cliffy sets the fastest lap of 34.2, so he's going 8 tenths a lap faster than us. Foxy Red now pitting, so we take the lead as we get a second warning, so we've got to be careful. If we get one more warning, that will be a penalty for us. But yeah, as I said, key laps now, we've got to pull. The gap to Cliffy, look, 13.9 seconds. He's the net race leader. We skip on to the end of the next lap, and the gap is 13.5. So he's pulled 4 tenths on us in about a lap and a half. So we've had decent pace. But anyway, we come into the pit lane now, getting it slowed down for the marks, and we'll see where we return. I think the battle we were in, we were just behind Harry, Foxy Red, and TL44S. So let's see where we can rejoin. Scott's going to go through now. Foxy Red goes through, but we do just about get ahead of TL44S and Charlie House. But we come out the pit lane and we almost spin on the inside curve. I was very scared at that point. And I thought that was all over, but somehow managed to hold it. We're quite in P5 and we've still got half the race left, so I was thinking, you know what, there's a very good chance of podium here, and we very quickly catch up to the back of Foxy and Scott Bugner. At this point I thought Scott Bugner was Harry. I don't know what happened to Harry, he got in a few incidents, but so I was overtaking these two thinking it was Fox Red and Scott and Harry, sorry. I think I'd have probably taken a slightly different approach if I'd known Scott, because he's very aggressive in his defending. But we go down the inside of them both, and that was actually quite a good move. We've pretty much got the position now. We're almost the car length ahead of Scott, but he sends one down the inside again. We get sort of shoved off track slightly, and this is the point I realised that I was battling Scott and not Harry. We've run out of overtake now, so we've lost both the positions again. We sort of slot our car up the inside slightly. There was a bit of contact, but we do make the position. You sort of have to be aggressive, depending on who you're racing, of course. But we're now on the back of Foxy and want to get past Foxy as quickly as possible so we can start gaining on the front two as we go for a dive up the inside. It's a fairly nice move up the inside. We've got the medium tyres and that was pretty easy. So we've got 4.7 seconds to the back of Scopefielder and 6.7 now to Cliffy. But as you can see, I don't know if you saw on the damage indicator there, we've got slight left end plate damage. I couldn't really tell at the time whether I did. It was that sort of slight duller colour, but I'm not sure if it made any difference to the performance or anything. The car felt okay. But anyway, we've caught up to the back of Scopefielder now. We're going to make a nice move up the inside into P2, and now the pure aim in the last 7 laps of this Grand Prix is the 4-second gap to Cliffy in first position. Can we make up the time or not? I really qualifying laps ever since I've came out of the pits, but particularly now qualifying laps more. As I see, the gap's gone to 3.4, 2.7, 2.3, and we go on to lap 25 now. It's still 2.4 seconds, but I think there's been a bit of contact behind. Scott Bugner has retired, and that has caused a virtual safety car. Now at this point, I think we could have even gained out of this, or we could lose a bit of time. I wanted to try and gain as much as possible. I think it would have been more ideal without the virtual, because obviously it's a bit slightly less time for us to be able to gain. The virtual safety car's ending now. What's the delta saying? 9 tenths, 8 tenths, 7 tenths. So we're pretty much in the green. We're coming around this corner now. The delta's coming down really fast, and it goes just into the red, and we get a drive-through penalty. So that, yeah, I couldn't believe that, to be fair. It's a lot stricter on this game than the last, evidently, because you could just get away with going in the red and it won't be bothered. But no, that's fair enough. It's as long as it works. Yeah, the gap was about 1.4 seconds going into the last lap to Cliffy in the end. I'm not sure if I would have got him anyway. But yeah, we've come in to serve our drive-through penalty, and that is going to drop us down to P6. So after all that, Harry still finishes ahead and still pulls away in the championship. So that's not ideal. It's given to the end of the race. Yeah, it's P6 in the end. One that got away from us really. I think the pace was really strong. I was very happy with, I think, challenging for the win after starting from the back. So yeah, I wasn't too disappointed, but obviously the slight speed of the virtual safety car was what cost us there. But we move on to the next one. I think the next race is Abu Dhabi, which I've not done on this game at all, so that will be interesting. But that is enough from me. I will see you in Abu Dhabi in a week's time. But until then, I'll see you next time.